one count is enough to impeach a governor. And I was very eager to impeach him, given the fact that he had made very derogatory remarks against women, and on so many instances have rubbed shoulders very badly with various committees of the Senate.
I am perturbed that in this House I've listened to my colleague senators. No one is asking the question, 16 MCAs who are given this power by the people under that article, Mr. Speaker, under what circumstances did they sit? Does it matter? Do we want to elevate procedural technicality over substantive justice under Article 159 of the Constitution?
When a mother is due to deliver, Honorable Speaker, and there is no delivery coach, you cannot ask that the baby goes back. You just deliver as is. Honorable Speaker, this motion of impeachment has started. We must proceed with it as is so that we can help the people of Isiolo.
I believe the members of the County Assembly deserved a fair hearing because these people represent the grassroots, and that means the MCAs represent the people at the grassroots. That means their voice is powerful and their voice matters, and most especially because most of them are young people, and I will stand with them. Mr. Speaker, we are a house of rules and procedures, and I am not a lawyer, but I know that laws were formulated, or rather the history of law was for the purposes of balancing situations of too much cruelty and too much mercy. And I know that there is no limit to how many counts we need to impeach a governor. One count is enough to impeach a governor. And I was very eager to impeach him, given the fact that he had made very derogatory remarks against women, and on so many instances have rubbed shoulders very badly with various committees of the Senate. And most importantly, because I want our northern counties, which have been marginalized for so many years, to be examples of counties that can have true leadership to liberate our people from a lot of marginalization. However, Mr. Speaker, as a house of rules and procedures, there has been questions as to how the MCAs have approached this impeachment, and I know that it pokes a lot of questions onto how the Senate has been handling this issue. That means we need to do a lot of amendments. One, on at what level the Senate decides that this is a matter that can now come to the floor of the Senate and henceforth demand attention of the senators. I don't know whether that is a failure on the clerk or our legal team. And secondly, we also need to amend the time frame that we need between one impeachment and another, so that these issues that were really burning our MCAs in Isiolo County can be addressed in a just manner.
The requirement and the process for removing a governor is stipulated. Under that article then, we are told by the Constitution that Parliament shall enact laws for which that removal of a governor will take course. And those laws, Mr. Speaker, is you find that under the County Government Act, Section 33, this is where we are invited to look at the issue of removal of a governor. This is what the law says. A member of the County Assembly may, not shall, may, by notice to the Speaker, supported by at least a third of all the members, move a motion of the removal of the governor under Article 181. So I want you to note the word may, not shall. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, if you read Article 159 of the Constitution, we are guided where the law or the framework of the Constitution anticipated that in the process of a removal of a governor, or even in the process of a removal of the president or otherwise the deputy president, there can be procedural technicalities that can be caused by things like violence, can be caused by things like impunity, can be caused by any other thing that can make it impossible for you to actually exercise your duty. I am perturbed that in this House, I've listened to my colleague senators, no one is asking the question, 16 MCAs who are given this power by the people under that article, Mr. Speaker, under what circumstances did they sit? Does it matter? Do we want to elevate procedural technicality over substantive justice under Article 159 of the Constitution? Because we are invited to look at that article, we are sitting here on a quasi-judicial process. Article 125 of the Constitution makes us a court. And in that quasi-judicial process, then we must abide to the Constitution, that there can be some circumstances under which we must then invite ourselves, because even when we're sitting here, this is part of the procedure. That's why we are sitting here. We need to accord Isiolo a fair trial, a fair hearing to the governor, a fair hearing to the MCAs who have been given powers under Article 181 of the Constitution. And that can only happen by making sure that we go to a full trial.
This is public participation evidence, this big document. So, Mr. Speaker, I thought I would be able to scrutinize all these issues this week so that I can be able to know exactly the issues in Isiolo. I've never interacted with whatever happens there because I'm not in any of those committees. But, Mr. Speaker, looking at what has happened through the PO, it is like I've lost that opportunity. And listening to my colleagues, it's like I'm losing that opportunity to understand what is happening. So, Mr. Speaker, mine is to say, if the issue is in Isiolo, the only house that can help Isiolo sort its problem is the Senate. We can never run away from our responsibility, Honorable Speaker. The committees mentioned, devolution, PAC, CPIC, any other committee, health, I saw them in Isiolo. We have that responsibility to assist Isiolo work. So, Mr. Speaker, this House has a big responsibility, even though we will make a decision today on one or the other. We are elected by the people of Kenya to defend devolution. So, Mr. Speaker, I would be very happy indeed if committees of this House, even if it's 5 or 6 or 7 or 10, to join Isiolo County, to visit Isiolo, and then also I will request that as all this happens, I will also request that my brother and Governor Guyo be a friend of this House. Whatever will be the decision that will be made, be a friend of this House. We want to sort all the issues in Isiolo. This House is so friendly. And then I'll also request the Assembly, Isiolo County Assembly, to be serious and bring serious documents to this House.
I listened to the evidence adduced by both parties. I was not able to capture any tangible evidence from the county, from the councils, from the county assemblies. Though I'm not a lawyer or a speaker, I could easily guess from the councils, from the county assemblies, that most of the evidence that they brought before this House was cooked. So in this matter, Honorable Speaker, I want to state categorically that the county assembly never sat. Let them go back. The state senate will be here tomorrow. We shall be here the next day. We shall be here up to 2027.
Mr. Speaker, understanding Order 105. And I want to ask the Senator for Tharaka-Nithi, who was also a former MCA, Honorable Speaker, that we have said that let's respect the county assembly. There are evidences here of public participation. There are so many. Is it fair for the Senator for Tharaka-Nithi to say all these evidences were cooked, Honorable Speaker? What does it take to use correct parliamentary language so that we can have a sober debate?
I've had a number of colleagues trying to defend the debate that is in the floor of the House. Honorable Speaker, it looks weird for this house, and even before the eyes of Kenyans, that we are discussing the procedure, which is well stipulated, either in the order paper, in the standing orders, in the procedures. Today, we are discussing how the assembly conducted the business. Honorable Speaker, that aside, the biggest question that is running through my mind is, what do we do with the issue? Because it seems there is forgery of documents. There is doctoring of minutes. What are we setting as a house? What are we debating as a house? What are we telling other assemblies? There is an issue that was raised by Honorable Sifuna. I'm not a lawyer, but what are we telling the rest of the Kenyans in terms of the documents that has been doctored, that the Senate right now is wasting time deliberating on it? What kind of business are we handling as a house? What precedents are we setting as a house? It's so weird. Why are we discussing the merit of this motion that is in the floor of the house? It is because the documents are doctored. That is the question. That is the issue. If the documents are not doctored, then the motion will not be there. Why are we discussing whether the assembly did a sitting or not? Either it was a legal sitting or illegal sitting. Why are we debating?
It is important that this is a house of precedents. In October last year, a similar impeachment for the governor for Kericho was brought here. And we debated. We said they required 32 MCAs, but those who voted for the motion were 31. So we discussed, we debated, and then we passed. 34 senators voted yes, and then 10 were in nays. So basically, we stopped at that particular place. We want to tell the county assembly of Isiolo, please, either you go back with your governor, agree and work together, or disagree and bring a properly motion that has been put through the proper procedures. Otherwise, we're here. Senate is going nowhere.
Ni dhahiri shahiri pia ma-MCA wawakilishi wodi wa bunge la Isiolo wako na ari na wako na ushahidi wa kutosha kuonesha kwamba katika gatuzi ya Isiolo kuko na matatizo ambayo yanahitaji bunge la seneti kuweza kuwasaidia kuyatatua. Na kwa sababu hayo ndio majukumu tuliyotwikwa na katiba yetu ya Kenya, ni vyema basi wasitumie njia za mkato kuweza kumtimua gavana ambaye amechaguliwa na wananchi wa Isiolo. Nipende kuwarai na kuwaomba maseneta wenzangu ambao tuko katika jumba hili, niwaambie ya kwamba tuko na majukumu ya kuweza kuleta sheria ambayo itawapatia uwepesi mawakilishi wadi wetu kuweza kuwaleta magavana wao hapa, kwa sababu nina imani kubwa ya kwamba asilimia kubwa ya ma-MCA na assemblies zetu katika taifa la Kenya wangependa kuwaleta magavana wao hapa, lakini jinsi sheria zilivyotungwa, zilivyowekwa, haziwasaidii mabunge yetu kuweza kuleta lalama zao katika bunge hili la seneti. Haiwezekani ya kwamba ushahidi wa kutosha uko mbele yetu, lakini kwa sababu ya sheria ambazo tumezitunga sisi kama wajumbe katika taifa hili, zinaweka vikwazo ambavyo hatuwezi kuingia kuangalia ushahidi ule. Ingawaje ukweli ni mchungu, lakini sheria lazima isimame, kwa sababu ni msumeno unakata mbele na nyuma.
Haionyeshi vizuri vile walikaa, kwa sababu nakumbuka katika sheria mpaka wangekuwa na pahali wanakaa, kwa sababu miaka mingi hata wakati wa MCAs na pia councillors, wakati walikuwa nataka kutimua yoyote, walikuwa naenda wanajivisha pahali, lakini katika pahali yote wakienda hakuna mahali ilikuwa na inazungumzwa. Lakini siku ya mwisho ya kikao, mpaka hata kama ni vita ya misare ama ya punduki mpaka wangeingia kwa ile kikao ndio ionekane wanafanya kazi gani. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, mimi naunga mkono gavana aweze kurudishwa kwa sababu kuna mambo ingifuatiliwa. Nataka niambie Senator Andy rafiki yangu, sio kumaanisha hatujafuata njia ile nafaa, lakini katika Biblia na katika Korani kuna kitu inasema kuna mtu mmoja katika Biblia ya Korani alijenga nyumba, lakini mmoja akajenga kwa mawe na mwingine akajenga kwa mchanga. Lakini wakati mvua ilikuja, ile ya mchanga iliteremka. Kwa hivyo wacha hii nyumba ya Isiolo ya MCA iteremke, na itakuwa ni funzo kwa kaunti yote 47 ndio wawe na mwanzo wa kufuatilia sheria vile tutakuwa tunatimua mangavana. Wende ukae chini na MCA muweze kueleanwa ndio ile kaunti ya Isiolo iweze kuendelea vizuri. Na nyinyi MCA kama gavana hata kuja mkae kikao kimoja ya kupandilisha ile kaunti ya Isiolo, tunamuomba mrudishe na tutamutimua kama mtafua mmefuata njia ile inafaa.
Part 25 of the Standing Orders of County Assembly of Isiolo provides on the journal, the records, and the proceedings and the custodian of those proceedings. It indeed, Mr. Speaker, guides us to be able to understand, especially in the form and manner of the documents which have been filed by the governor as well as the county assembly in this house, whether indeed there was a sitting on 18th and the 26th of June 2025. And Mr. Speaker, in these records, contrary to the response that I got, there is an aspect that is still not very clear in my mind. And this aspect speaks to the substantive issue which, with a very heavy heart, we are called upon as a house to determine at a preliminary stage whether we proceed.
I must say it's very unfortunate that in the county assembly of Isiolo, business was conducted on that specific day, and what ended up may have been the vandalizing of the Hansard, so we don't have the advantage of seeing what happened in the county assembly. And in place of a Hansard, in place of using technology, which is supposed to ease the evidence that should be adduced before this house, we instead have explanations and pictures that do not even show the county assembly. In actual fact, that video did not display any house sitting. So conclusively, without looking at any other document, if that is the basis on which we should determine whether there was a sitting or not, those videos did not show any sitting.
I actually believe that there was a sitting. I just do not, at this preliminary stage, feel convinced by the assembly side that it was a valid sitting. Unfortunately, that is the conclusion that I have been able to come to at this stage. And if we are to proceed, we must proceed, as everyone has said, in one way or the other, by the rule of law. And if that threshold to convince or persuade this House, or majority at least of this House, that there was a valid sitting that took place, and therefore we should proceed into full trial, then, Speaker, I'm afraid we might have to, unfortunately for the Assembly, because I also believe that they must have a case that they are strongly believe and have put effort to bring to this House. But in this case, I would encourage them to go back, bring something that is procedural and correct, and dot all of their I's and cross all of their T's before coming back to the House, and we will listen to them with the rule of law in our hand. Thank you.
First, I rise to oppose this motion, Honorable Speaker, that we should not terminate these proceedings at these preliminary stages, Honorable Speaker, because there is evidence that there was a sitting, Honorable Speaker, as per what has been adduced by County Assembly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the governor of Isiolo was impeached by 16 members of County Assembly out of 18, Honorable Speaker. It's a record of a 95% attendance and speaker of impeachment. But, Honorable Speaker, I want my colleagues to reflect on the roles of Parliament, Honorable Speaker, and the powers of this House, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, under Article 125, This House has the power to summon appearance and evidence, Honorable Speaker, and that is why we are here today. In exercising that authority, Honorable Speaker, the Senate and Parliament is acting as a to the level of a judiciary, Honorable Speaker. And if you look at the judicial authority under Article 159, Honorable Speaker, there is no reason absolutely as to why, at this stage, Honorable Speaker, we should terminate the proceedings on technicalities, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Article 159(1), the judicial authority is derived from the people and it is vests and shall be exercised by the courts and tribunals as established by or the Constitution, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if you read Section D, justice shall be administered without undue regard to procedural technicalities, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we should allow this process to go to its logical conclusion. At this stage, Honorable Speaker, we are not saying that the governor for Isiolo is guilty of the grounds that have been said, but we would want to listen to what the Assembly has given, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I want to also tell my friend, the Senator for Kakamega, Senator Bonica Luwale, a non-practicing gynecologist, Honorable Speaker, that when a mother is due to deliver, Honorable Speaker, and there is no delivery coach, you cannot ask that the baby goes back. You just deliver as is. Honorable Speaker, this motion of impeachment has started. We must proceed with it as is so that we can help the people of Isiolo, Honorable Speaker, realize what they have said.
The Senate cannot be reduced to a theater of absurdity. The question before us in this motion, Mr. Speaker, sir, is not a merely procedural question. It is a deep constitutional question that must be answered. Mr. Speaker, sir, just imagine if you were to carry this precedence and allow this motion to go to full hearing, Mr. Speaker. What stops a speaker of another county assembly conveying a message to you, even without any sitting? What stops them? Mr. Speaker, sir, we have been told by the leader majority, who has been very sensational here when he's speaking, that we want to keep this motion at this level. Mr. Speaker, sir, that is actually not true. I want to disagree with the leader majority. What we are saying is that if you have the members of the county assembly, just go back, bring a good motion, and we shall prosecute it. The Senate has not said that we are not ready to prosecute this particular motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, the senator from Mombasa has also alluded that let us just deal with this motion. If Governor Guyo is impeached, he can go to court. The prescription that the senator from Mombasa has given is that let us take poison and then we can take milk later. That shall not happen and we cannot do it. We cannot take poison as we are seeing. This motion is defective. There was no sitting of the county assembly. And so therefore, there is no recourse to it. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to say, and I want to be very, very careful with the words that I want to choose so that I'm not disrupted by many people who want to disrupt us as we are speaking here. I do not like the leadership style of President William Ruto, but the Constitution does not give me a recourse. The Constitution does not allow me to, it has no room for my feeling. It does not have any room for what I feel about his leadership. The Constitution allows me to only wait until 2027, painfully. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, even for the members of the county assembly, theirs is not a long wait as mine and Senator Wambua. Theirs is just going back. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I'm thinking in my mind, if they were to just go back to the county assembly and process this motion as it is supposed to be, we can't say that this motion has been lost, so they have to wait for 6 months, because there was no motion anyway, because there was no sitting anyway. They can sit tomorrow, process this motion, and bring it here and convey a message to you on Thursday. And we'll be here. Mr. Speaker, you can see, I woke up very early. You can see how I need to took care of my hair. You can look at me and see that I was very ready to prosecute the business of Isiolo, Mr. Speaker. So we shall be here and we shall be available.
The county assembly has not been able to sufficiently demonstrate to this House that there was a sitting. And Mr. Speaker, even when they were given a chance, the lawyers of the county assembly were given a chance to give evidence in terms of video clips, Mr. Speaker, they didn't take that opportunity to give us the sittings at the assembly, Mr. Speaker. What they did is to show some place like an office, which definitely had been ramshackled in a way, Mr. Speaker, which did not show it's a chamber, Mr. Speaker. There were no members, Mr. Speaker, so there was no way for this House to be able to tell that there were sittings or not, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have heard a lot about Isiolo County, and we were eager, Mr. Speaker, to go through the rigors of this impeachment proposal, Mr. Speaker. But as it is, Mr. Speaker, this is a House of rules and procedures, and the procedures and processes have not been followed. We have no choice, Mr. Speaker, but to send back the county assembly to follow the law, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we would not have wanted to bring our biases into this case, because if it were, then maybe we would have gone the direction Senator Hezena is, saying, because the women governors, senators in this House, Mr. Speaker, had a lot of bone to pick with the governor. But the way it has come, Mr. Speaker, it has failed the test, at least the initial tests, Mr. Speaker, for us to be able to proceed to full hearing.
MCAs of Isiolo have denied us a very important impeachment motion. We would have wanted really to know, because them coming to tell us that there are two speakers and two clerks, I think I would really have wanted to know how they passed to the county assembly, and as far as I know, they are the people who are supposed to approve the team that is always brought to the House, to the assembly by the governor. So I really advise you to really look at that, because at the end of it, I think you're the ones people who will be going home, not the governor, if you brought that motion. Because everybody will be asking, how did they come to be picked and put that we have two speakers? Because to me, I think the National Assembly are the one, the county assembly are the ones who approve any team that is brought by the governor on the floor of the assembly.
We've seen some semblance of violence that took place that then showed that there was destruction of the video evidence, and that the transcription was not done of the Hansard, was not done through the video evidence, but from the evidence of the audio, and that the audio is available but has not been brought here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if there's a challenge of sitting in the assembly of Isiolo, they can also ask for another venue, but the procedure is very clear that it must be gazetted, and that there must be a resolution to sit in a different venue other than the gazetted assembly. We have not been shown any gazette notice to show or to convince us that a different venue was gazetted for the assembly to sit.
While I feel for the people of Isiolo, for the county assembly, I wish that whatever case they brought here earlier, I actually sought clarity on whether the Hansard recordings can actually be displayed if they actually conducted their sittings in a room or their sittings were done outside. There was no evidence for the same, which makes me feel then the right procedure was not followed, Mr. Speaker. We want to make this process so credible that any other governor who's brought to this Senate as a house of reason is able to go home knowing substantive justice was actually rendered to them. Substantive justice cannot be talked about where due process has not been followed, and where due process has not been followed, even wanting to go into the evidences will not help in this case, Mr. Speaker, because from the beginning, the whole process has not been followed.
I stand here to idle my voice that I oppose the motion, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, when 16 MCAs come together for a motion of impeachment, Mr. Speaker, there must be a procedure which is supposed to be followed. Mr. Speaker, there is volume 3, which has order paper Hansard everything, Mr. Speaker. If at all, if there is no procedures, this whole document cannot be available to the Senate, Mr. Speaker. So on this ground, Mr. Speaker, I oppose and I say there is a meeting, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Our county assemblies need to be protected. First, one of the two features that came out in both counties that we handled was the violence that took place. The violence that took place in Machakos was exactly the same violence that took place in Nyamira, and the same violence that we are being told, although we did not see the actual violence, we saw the aftermath. We need to be very clear that when MCS are handling a very serious agenda like impeachment, which is very serious because it borders on who is right between the executive and the assembly, it is the protection of the MCS is of paramount. Even in this case, Mr. Speaker, if the House finds that the procedure was not done properly and that they go back, we need to be assured that even if they go back, they will have protection as a House.
Noting that a preliminary issue was raised by the Governor of Isiolo County on whether the County Assembly of Isiolo held sittings on 18th June 2025 and 26th June 2025 to table, debate, pass, and no vote on the motion for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Governor of Isiolo County. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to uphold the preliminary issue raised on whether the County Assembly of Isiolo held sittings on the 18th of June 2025 and 26th of June 2025 to table, debate, pass, and or vote on the motion for proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Governor of Isiolo County, and accordingly terminates the proceedings for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Abdi Ibrahim Hassan, the Governor of Isiolo County. Log back into the delegate unit. Once you have done that, kindly proceed to vote, and time starts running from now. Honorable Senators, the result of the vote on the division on this motion is as follows. Ayes, 31 votes. Nays, 12 votes. Abstention, 0 votes. So the ayes have it.